have in their pocket, except when they've had to, of course. But tonight is a big test for both these teams. 3-3 the last time these sides met in the Hero ISL. And I've just watched the goals back of that one, actually, with some pretty good goals in that. One particular overhead from Jake Jervis, who's no longer at East Bengal, but Clayton Silver on the score sheet in that one, parted with a screamer from the edge of the area as well. Some undoubted talent was on display in that one, as indeed there will be tonight with new faces. Harmanjot Kabra is a familiar face, of course, but back at his open ground now. Here are our dignitaries for this evening to be introduced to the teams. Colonel Bernaba Chakrabarti, the commanding officer of the 15th Battalion, the Bihar Regiment. Shri Sujit Bose, who's the Minister in charge of Fire and Emergency Services here at the Government of West Bengal. And of course we extend our thanks to the organising committees here in Kolkata, the Indian Armed Forces and the Government of West Bengal for their efforts. This stadium will be used for the two semi-finals and the final. We've said goodbye to Guwahati and Kokrajhar. Northeast is the first time they've played away from their own stadium, of course, the Indira Gandhi Stadium in Guwahati. They're very familiar for Emami East Bengal, their home stadium here. Over 67,000 in this stadium in the Hero ISL last season to watch their games against Mohun Bagan Supergiant. There's another new man at the back there for Northeast United, Mohamed Ali Behama, making his debut, or his first start tonight, the Moroccan. He'd come off the bench earlier on in the group stages. But a test tonight for, probably the real first test for Juan Pedro Bernali in this one. But Carlos Quadrad, he's got a proven record, Andy. Of course, he was a Hero ISL winner in his first season with Bengaluru, winning not only the league stage, but also the final as well. The only coach to do so in the history of the league.
I think it's going to be a fascinating battle between two coaches really wanting to pit the wits against each other. As you say, Emami East Bengal, he's got that fire in front three, hasn't he, a real threat. Whereas Northeast United, they've just seemed to have picked up and ground out good positive results, obviously strong results early in the tournament. And they've got a front three as well that is able to rotate and even dictate a little bit too by resting a few in a previous game. But I'm sure they'll be fully firing now, and they're exciting front line. So I'm expecting a really strong head-to-head tussle at the top of the pitches.
Yeah, Northeast United released all but one of their foreign players at the end of last season. The only man remaining was Roman Philippatu, who wears the captain's armband tonight. He will come together with Harmanjot Kabra, who joined Emami East Bengal from the Kerala Blasters. Did play 7 years in the I-League for East Bengal as they were back in the day. Kabra, very familiar figure, of course, in Indian football. Fall off the radar a little bit at the Blasters last season with just 7 appearances, but hoping to rejuvenate his career in red and gold this season. Roman Philippatu was a skillful player last season with lots of creativity. Jordan Gill, of course, was their main goal scorer, but they weren't able to retain him for the coming season. But they have got Ibsen de Melo, the Brazilian, in the squad this season. They just signed Yasser Hamed as well, another. In it, Aditya Pukasta is the referee. Very familiar again if you're used to watching your Hero Indian Super League football. Haven't been too many red cards in this tournament either, which has been good to see. The discipline has been pretty good from the players. The games have been played in a good spirit. Well, here are the teams. Northeast United making 6 changes to the side that beat Indian Army. Ashir Akhtar is recalled to the back four alongside Michel Zabako. Mohamed Bahama makes his first start. Philippatu returns and captains the side. Also back are Partib, Nestor and Manvir, who will lead the line in place of Ibsen de Melo, who drops down to the bench tonight. 4-2-3-1, the favoured formation for Juan Pedro Bernali. And there's a real air of expectation, and these are the side and these are the players that the responsibility falls to tonight for Carlos Quadrad. 2 changes for them. Mandar returns at left back. New signing Jose Antonio Pardo makes his first start. 6 players on show have started every game. Prabhshakan Gill, Chungnunga, Saul Crespo, and the front three of Mahesh, Severio and Nanda Kumar. Carlos Quadrad once again makes minimal changes to his side. Well, here are the benches. Two strong benches as well. Redeem Talang and Ibsen de Melo are on the bench for North East, having dropped out of the starting 11. Well, Imami East Bengal have Clayton Silver, Edwin Van Spool and Borja Herrera among their replacements, should they need to call upon. And we're just about ready to go in the first of our two semi-finals. Aditya Perkasta checks his watch. It's North East United all in white that will kick from right to left in the first half. And we're underway, the 132nd Indian Oil Durand Cup. 4 teams remain. After tonight we'll know the identity of our first finalist. Will it be North East United for the first time? Will it be Imami East Bengal for the 27th time in the final of this competition? History counts for nothing though, Andy, when you come down to a semi-final, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just a massive opportunity, isn't it? It's what players absolutely live and strive and work for, and coaches trying to pit themselves against each other. I expect, like we've mentioned there, a real aggressive attacking start from both sides. Be interested to see that battle and matchups in the wide areas, especially if you look at Partip Gogoi and the start that he's had and the impression he's had in the tournament so far, and then Mahesh on the opposite side for Imami East Bengal, up against good seasoned fullbacks as well. So I think the tussle in wide areas will be interesting, as will that battle with the 3 in midfield from both sides.
Carlos Kudrat, familiar figure of course. Bengaluru was assistant to Albert Rocker before taking over the side when he departed, and had great success as well. Won the title in his first season, got them to the playoffs in the second season. It's a foul on Philippa 2 by Severio. Here's Nesta. Header away was by LC. Lots of new faces on display for both teams tonight. That's a wayward pass there that will go all the way through to Prabhshik and Gill. What's impressed you most about these two sides? In obviously different approaches, different coaches, different personnel, but is there any one thing from either side that's actually stood out for you so far? We'll just wait for a sec to discuss that. Falguni comes forward. There's Manveer. Flies over the top. Got himself into a good position, but couldn't keep the shot down.
I think that's the perfect example of it, Mark, what you've just seen there. The power and the pace and the energy that for North East side when they've been able to pick up the ball. They've set up in a slightly different shape, you can see, with Gogoi just on that left-hand side this time, and 2 in terms of Manveer and Falguni just holding a little bit more central, but it's been their pace in the wide areas and their ability to break teams down when they win it back quickly on the counter-attack. Imami East Bengal, much more consistent at the back, being able to be compact and defensively resolute, but also the threat on set pieces with, as I say, Mahesh being able to deliver them balls upon her with a beautiful wonderful left foot. So both teams have big threats.
It's just turned on by Nanda Kumar, but find its intended target, Mahesh. Nishu. Mandar. Can't keep that one in play though, as he wants to get it back from Pardo. One of many Spaniards, of course, now playing in India. Dinesh with the throw for North East United. For them last season, of course, finished bottom of the league table, just 5 points across the season, 1 win. That did come against Mohan Bagan. Did have a good Super Cup campaign though under Floyd Pinto. There were some signs there that there's a good foundation to the club with some of the young players coming through, the likes of Partip, who's broken into the start lineup, goes out off Cadmer for a corner.
Yeah, I've worked with Floyd Pinto at Punjab, very good, progressive young Indian coach. It's great to see him having an impact on these young players in his time there as well. Of course, he'll be at Odisha this season with Sergio Oliveira. He's
haven't made the most of the corner. That'll be a free kick foul on Mahesh. Scored his first international goal in the summer, Naran Mahesh.
Yeah, just a clumsy challenge, wasn't it? Wasn't particularly going anywhere. Just want to try and pen them in, don't give an opportunity to get out freely and been able to build an attack.
Was named today by Igor Stimac in his squad for the King's Cup in Thailand, which comes up in early September, Mahesh. Here he is again. Nicely helped on, the noise levels raised inside the stadium among the Red and Gold Brigade. Mandar on the overlap, but can't get his foot around it and slices away harmlessly over Mirshad's goal.
I think that's the trait of what we've seen throughout this tournament, isn't it? Being able to try and get football, get wing backs on the overlap, full backs on the overlap if they're playing a back four. Just the quality of the delivery letting him down there, but good signs for Imani East Bengal in being able to get numbers in the box. Obviously 3 or 4 players breaking that box early, which they'll be pleased to see.
You've got a player like Javier Severio in the middle who scores a lot of heavy-headed goals, and strikers thrive on that support, that delivery, that quality being delivered from the wide positions. Chelsea just putting the ball out for a throw. Fourth start today for Jordan Elsey, the man born in Adelaide. Scored in the first minute of the quarter-finals against Goklam Kerala to get his first goal for Imami East Bengal. Sol Crespo. A player that had a very good season in the league last season with Odisha. Missed just 3 games in the regular season. Here he is again. Cabra. Chungnunga. Elsey looking long this time. He might be a little bit too long, but Nanda's got good pace. Not quite quick enough though to keep that one in play. Another player that was at Odisha last season, Nanda Kumar. You can see the intention there from Jordan Elsey.
Yeah, you can see how North East United, they've deliberately set up slightly different from what they had in previous games. So out of possession looks like a 4-4-2, just dropping in, trying to stop Pardo get onto the ball in them deep situations that he's kind of known for linking play between the thirds, and obviously allows the centre halves maybe to have more of the possession, with you see Jordan Elsey trying to make the longer ball in that occasion.
Hoisted over the top once again. Awkward one for the defender, but Ashir dealt with it well, away by Dinesh. The last time East Bengal made it to the final of this competition was back in 2004. They beat their big rivals Mohanbagan in the final. Bouncing awkwardly again on the edge of the penalty area. Good pressure from Falguni. Really giving Sol Crespo a hard time, and then barges into the back of him. Sol Crespo didn't like the challenge. And assistant referee forced to step in. The referee, coach rather, Juan Pedro Benali, not happy either.
Yeah, to instigate there, that there might have been a clash of heads. Not quite sure. We might be able to get a better view on the replay here. But the head coach clearly suggesting that something was going on.
There was a nudge in the back. I mean, that happens when players are chasing the ball. They're trying to shield the ball. Sol Crespo's experienced enough to know that that kind of thing is going to happen. So an unnecessary reaction, really. But you can see what's at stake here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Falguni, second or third time in the opening 9 minutes that he's actually been the highest player on the pitch when they've played forward, especially through Romain Philippa 2, just kind of turning the ball over quickly into Imani East Bengal's back line. Just seeing that Manvir is just a little bit deeper, and Nesta probably not an out-and-out winger, more like to drift inside, so slightly different setup than that kind of front three they've had with Falguni in behind in the recent games.
Aditya Picasta just trying to defuse this by getting the 2 captains involved as well, Harmanjot Kabra and Roman Philippa too. On Philippa too, he's got the yellow card for obviously something he said. So Sol Crespo gets away unscathed. First yellow card of the game. So that's not a sign of things to come. We were saying earlier on, and well, Sol Crespo has been booked for his reaction as well. Booked for obviously something he said to the referee. 10 minutes gone, first 2 yellow cards already.
Yeah, it must have been something he said when discussing with the referee, because clearly he had no part of the incident itself, and he was actually asked to be brought to speak to the referee as a captain.
Offside flag up against Javier Severio, who was just coming back from an offside position. He's already off the mark for his new club, scored a couple of goals already in the competition. Scored in his very first game against Bangladesh Army to put the Army East Bengal 2-0 up, but they surrendered that lead in the second half. Also scored the only goal against Punjab in the final group game, Javier Severio. With a good ball over the top, Jason for Mahesh. Severio's waiting in the middle. That was actually Nishu Kumar that was out on that far side trying to get the ball across. Good block there by Dinesh.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they've flipped over the wingers, haven't they? So Mahesh has gone onto the left side, onto his favoured foot, and then can able to, that's Nishu out there, isn't it, making the delivery out. One thing I'm impressed with how they rotate these wingers, so sometimes wingers like to put inside onto the preferred foot, but obviously Severio much prefers them balls whipped in, so you might see that left footer out on that left-hand side.
Sent in towards Sol Crespo. Nishu Kumar was sent off in the opening group game against Bangladesh Army. The player going for the new season from the Kerala Blasters, along with Prabshik Gill, the goalkeeper. With a great looking ball over the top once again. You can see they're trying to utilise that long ball at the moment to get in behind North East, and it was Nishu Kumar once again looking to be the beneficiary on the end of that one.
He's just coming from a slightly deeper position, isn't he? And being able to release and trying to get on the back of the full-back. Looks like it's going to be a difficult start for Dinesh, especially up against quick wingers and wide players who are breaking from midfield. He's going to need some support there, whether it's from Nesta or Bimama in midfield, helping to drop it and cover him.
Dinesh had a good season last season for Srinidhi Deccan, who looked at one point as if they would be the team to be promoted from the Hero I League, but that excellent run from Punjab as the season went on means that it's them that will join India's top flight this season. It's been a good competitive start though. Nobody sitting back, everybody wanting to keep the intensity of the game up in this semi-final. He turned on once again, clever little flick, Mahesh. Turning away from Partib. Chungunga. Jordan Elsey. Army East Bengal's problem last season was scoring goals. Only North East and Jamshedpur scored fewer goals last season. But they've got help this year. Of course, Clayton Silver's on the bench tonight. Now they've got Severio, a proven goal scorer already at this level. Sol Crespo. Cut out on the edge of the area. Good play by Lubako. Given away again. Pushed away by Mirshad. Good save. He did well to push that one out away from danger, but Severio was offside, so the pressure relieved. But the first shot in anger and the first save of the game from Mirshad, good save as well.
Yeah, it started from good build-up play, didn't it, from Pardo dropping in between the back line. Mahesh playing a little bit more as a number 10 today, in behind Severio, and just a quick trying to win that ball back and taking a snapshot just before the keeper gets set. But ominous signs for them now. It seemed to be set up really well, putting Nishu just on that left-hand side as opposed to Mahesh, and trying to get support into Severio just a little bit deeper from Mahesh as well.
10 appearances last season for Mirshad in goal. And Somerjot Cabra. For that long ball forward again, it's headed down only as far as Severio. Now Mahesh. Just under the feet of Nanda Kumar a little. Falguni. Trying to squeeze that one through the gap. Chumnunga read it well though. Mandar. Nishu. Goalless after the opening 15 minutes, but Imami East Bengal have looked the more threatening. Pushing forward, here's Sol Crespo. Just a push of the accelerator and glides past his man Mahesh. Severio just pulls away. On the overlap, Nishu just slipped it through. Mahesh has made a good intelligent run. Lovely little turn, tried to pull back away by Zabako. Good skills by Mahesh, good build-up play again by Imami East Bengal, but North East defending well at the moment.
Yeah, Dinesh is not really being helped on that right-hand side, is he, by Nesta, who's not, just because he drifts in so far in play during the game that he just can't get out quite to support the attack, to defence. But yeah, they're playing much better now, aren't they? Much more free-flowing in their attack and able to get the ball, especially down their left-hand side, Imami East Bengal.
From North East, going to be a foul by Jordan Elsey, who was trying to get back. The initial header out was by Bihama. Foul on Nesta.
Yeah, it's just one of them that just stops the counter-attack, isn't it? I think the technical term now is a professional foul, just to break up the play and make sure you can get bodies back in behind the ball quickly.
It's Pardo, the man that actually committed the foul. Elsey was there as well though. Here come Imami East Bengal once more. Nanda Kumar. Chance to run at Tondomba. Behama's there as well. He's done well. Behama that time. Tondomba. Good away again off Nanda Kumar, and out of play for a North East United throw.
And that's what he's there for, Behama, isn't he? Just able to protect that back four a little bit. If they get exposed, he can just drift across and cover, give a bit of balance in defence as well.
Antonio Pardo, the Spaniard, joined from Eldense in the Spanish second division. That's a foul throw from Tondomba. I don't know why he's looking so surprised. His foot was clearly off the ground. Surely should know better than that as a fullback.
Yeah, that is a coach's nightmare, isn't it? Something that you might expect to see on the local park with the junior team when you're educating the youngsters and the next generation, but yeah, not in such a big high-profile game such as this.
Cabra with some quality on the cross, doesn't find it. Bihama away again. Manvir tussling away with Mandar. Hooked away by Tondomba, the man whose foul throw gave that ball away. Here's Manvir. Chumdunga with him. Falguni again making a nuisance of himself. Watch that battle between him and Sol Crespo. They've already had one little incident. Tondomba's header. Cabra. East Bengal did win 3-1 in Guwahati in the Hero ISL last season. 3-1 up at the Indira Gandhi Stadium. Matt Derbyshire scored in that one. It was the only goal that North East United scored in their opening 5 games last season. It was such a wretched start for them under as he parted ways just before Christmas, and Vincenzo and Eze came in and couldn't really turn their fortunes around. Managed to get that one win against Mohan Bagan. those red and gold shirts once again. Harmanjot Cabra. Force backwards that time. Chungnunga. Tondomba's header. Just trying to keep that pressure on at the moment, keep North East pegged back in their own half. Carlos Quadrat was a left back during his playing career. Started off his coaching more as a fitness and conditioning coach rather than a coach. He's found a niche for himself now back in India after a couple of seasons. North East coming forward again with Bihama. Martin on the chase and will get there ahead of Harmanjot Cabra. Got Falguni with him, plays the ball into Cabra's chest. It's a second chance, plays it off his knee this time, but will win the corner. But Cabra standing his ground and preventing that ball coming across, but good persistence from Party.
Yeah, he's been an exciting threat, hasn't he, so far in the tournament. I know missed out in the last game. I think there you're just looking for either a bit of quality or can even take him on 1v1, if not maybe set it back, but he's got the corner and we know how much an attacking threat set pieces have been in the Indian Oil DURAND Cup so far.
Comes the corner, good header away by Jordan Elsey. Tondomba. Falguni. Lovely ball played in, and the header guided into the corner. It's a brilliant goal, but it's all about the delivery for North East United. Michel Zabako. Well, they stunned the red and gold brigade. Brilliant ball in, Rapture can kill, well beaten, but what about this for a delivery for a Falguni?
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Second phase from the corner, lovely little play just inside by Falguni. He's got great feet, lovely little whip on the ball, and just Pardo just able just to guide the ball into that far corner. Absolutely no chance for the goalkeeper for Gill. Just all about the quality of the delivery, and it just asks to be headed and redirected just to that far post.
Michel Zabako gets his first goal for North East United, first time playing outside Spain, and already endearing himself to the Highlanders faithful. Just used the pace on the ball to guide him beyond Gill. And having been up against it a little in terms of possession, North East United find themselves in front midway through the first half. Pardo. Jordan Elsey. Lets it run to Nanda Kumar. Crespo's ball in once again. Behama. Well run back by the industry of Nanda Kumar. Pardo. Mandar and Nishu out on that touchline again. Mahesh. Here's Mandar, free waiting in the middle. Severio trying to get away from his man, not a great cross. And Philippa too should be able to bring this one away. Finds Party on by Falguni. Party working hard and chasing and putting Chungnunga under pressure. Harmanjot Cabra. Pardo. Tondomba. Over the top again from Party, but once again the ever reliable Chungnunga with a header, but that's just lifted North East spirits having been up against it, that goal.
Yeah, I think you can see when they don't have possession of the ball, they're really well organised and well structured, trying to force them down there left, really, North East United, where they've got that energy of Party, Roy and Falguni to try and win the ball back and get a counter-attack. a little bit lesser on that right hand side where Nesta just tucked in. But for Imami East Bengal, just a case of settling on that ball, getting the passes in, working the way up the pitch, trying to get through that really aggressive front line of North East United and trying to drop them low and get some little combinations to get their attacking players on the ball.
Better throw that time from Tondamba. Here's Partib Gogoi. Philippatu. Nice little give and go. So Philippatu almost got on the end of that one. Manvir just tried to help it on the edge of the area. Grabshik and Gill releases this one quickly, but Zabako, who stayed back, was alive to the danger. Nanda Kumar. Pardo. North East have never been to this stage of the Durand Cup before. They played in 2022 for the first time. They did put a youth team out on that occasion. This has been a much stronger team. Juan Pedro Benali using this to shape his squad for the new season. That's a great ball in from Mahesh. It's just too high for Javier Severio. Just got away from his man, but Mas was just a little too high. But good ball in all the same.
Yeah, he's a real threat just off the shoulder of the centre-back. Don't know whether you can hold your line and try and play him offside. You don't know if you should drop deep and just keep him on the outside of your shoulder. On that occasion, Severio just able just to peel off just between the centre-back and full-back and just try and not able to get to redirect the header. You can just see on that right-hand side though for North East United, Dinesh just getting left occasionally 2v1 with Nishu, and then when Mandar's able to join in, the longer they have possession of the ball, Imami East Bengal, Nesta's just able to drop back into shape and help Dinesh out on that right hand side.
Jordan Elsie with that high one up into the Kolkata night sky. Here's Mahesh. Play that reverse ball through for Nishi Kumar. Give it away cheaply to Pardo. Nanda. To tease and test Tondamba. Had his best goal scoring season of his career so far last season, Nanda Kumar. 6 goals in 19 appearances for Odisha. He was the hero against Marbagan Supergiants as well, with the only goal in that Kolkata derby. Second semi-final comes up on Thursday. Don't forget, it's FC Goa taking on Marbagan Supergiant, like Imami East Bengal, 16-time winners of the Indian Oil Durand Cup. Was aimed towards Manvir. Capo's header away. See North East gain a little bit of ground down this near side. Well, I have got a little pocket of supporters here tonight, North East United, which will be music to their ears, having come away from Guwahati for the first time. And Domba's ball in, Jordan Elsie's header away. Comes off Bihama, who know too much about that. By Zabako, who's going to get a yellow card to add to his goal earlier on. So the third yellow card of this first half. It's Javier Severio, the man that's been fouled, and they're just taking a whack to the side of the face. And Zabako into the book.
Yeah, I think he was making sure, wasn't he, that if he couldn't get to win the ball clean, he was making sure that Severio wasn't able to get it clean himself. Just plows through him. Seemed an honest challenge it there from the start, but then neither player actually winning the ball or getting the first contact, but just going straight through with the arms around him as well. Gives the referee the opportunity to put him into the book and put him on notice for the rest of the game. Just need the North East United just to settle a little bit, just get the ball into them wider areas, into Falguni, then out to Gogoi or Nesta, and try and have a spell of possession now, just to take the sting out of anything that Imami East Bengal want to bring after this break.
So the water break in the first half. Still very hot and humid here in Kolkata at the moment, but having soaked up a little bit of early pressure North East United got themselves in front here in this first semi-final. It was the man who's just been yellow carded, Michel Zabako, who got the opening goal, but great ball in from Falguni.
His movement's brilliant, isn't it? There's three Imam East Bengal players in and around that width of that goal, but just neither of the three of them being able to try and mark him and being able to affect the delivery of the ball or get first contact. Just a little movement away as well, just create a little pocket of space for himself, Zabako, just to arrive into a really first-class header.
Doesn't score many goals. Scored just 2 in over 50 appearances at Burgos over the last 3 seasons, but has a goal here thanks to Falguni's ball in. He could be a real star this season. Was at Srinidhi Deccan. It's the goal that separates the two teams in this semi-final after half an hour here in Kolkata.
I think that's what that press does. You've just seen it there, forced the mistake. They've just had the water break. Imam East Bengal just trying to settle themselves down and get themselves back into the game, but that immediate pressure from Gugoi, Falguni, just being able to force the error and turn over possession, and they've got the ball back.
Just talking about that yellow card for Zabako, it's important North East keep their discipline, isn't it? Because they won't want to lose any players through silly challenges or, you know, a second yellow card for something stupid. East Bengal, of course, lost Nishu and then conceded 2 late goals against Bangladesh Army. So I think that's something that Juan Pedro Benali will be emphasising and stressing to his team. Let's be firm but fair.
Very much so, Mark, and we know that he's not afraid of making tactical changes or big changes in games that have affected the outcome of games with the substitutions he's made so far.
This party, Gil thought about coming, changed his mind. It was probably a good decision. It's not a great ball, it was a congested penalty area. More red and gold than there was white in there. There's Philip Patu. Lovely little chip over the top for Tondomba. A little bit of space here with Cabra just backing off a little. Too high this time for Nesta in the middle. And a comfortable head back to Prabshit Gil, who rolls it out quickly here to Pardo to try and get Imami East Bengal moving forward again. There's that switch, the lovely long ball in for Nanda Kumar, but Mirshad timed his run and read it well and gathers just on the edge of his area, but that long diagonal ball again in action for Imami East Bengal.
Yeah, Imam having to cover that ground in left by Nesta on that right hand side. It allows that little pocket of space for them just to play that diagonal ball. On that occasion not quite working out, but it is a danger, it is a threat, it is something that the North East United team are going to have to be aware of, especially when they lose possession quickly, that there's going to be spaces and they're going to be exploited.
Nanda Kumar.
It's 6:33 p.m.
Back towards his own goal, but now they're moving back in the right direction again. Philip Patu getting back to make the challenge. Did well there to get in front of Nanda Kumar. The North East captain was hooked early on in the first half. Crespo with a quickly taken throw. Nanda Kumar. Amajot Cabra swings one over. Mirshad comes and got a good punch on the ball. Still Imami East Bengal trying to keep the pressure on. Nishu back in again, but over everybody and behind for a goal kick, lacking the quality on the cross to cause any problems.
Yeah, it's a good punch there from Mirshad. He's had his moments, hasn't he, earlier on in the tournament, but that'll be a confidence booster. Not had too much to do so far, to be honest, in the first 30 minutes of the game, but just be able to get a clean punch and be able to get his defensive unit out at a good distance after that will settle him down and do him good.
Both goalkeepers on display tonight are still in line for the Golden Glove. Both have kept 2 clean sheets so far. North East have been a much better defensive unit so far this season. 55 goals conceded in the league last season. There's Cabra. We talk about stability and we look at the teams in the Hero ISL that have kept coaches, Juan Ferrando, Des Buckingham, Nolo Marquez, of course, so successful at Hyderabad, now at Goa. And you would certainly feel that with Stephen Constantine and now Vincenzo Anesi having departed, that both North East and East Bengal will be looking for that stability now and looking to keep their coaches for certainly more than one season.
Very much so, and you can see straight away just the tactical plan that they've put together, but they look more like a team that have been really well drilled, really well coached. You know that they've had not a huge amount of time together, and these games come thick and fast, especially in this tournament. Quick turnaround between games, but they look so well organised. They seem to understand where the strengths are, areas that they've got to work on defensively. They've been really resolute and compact. So, and that comes from the coach, and it's driven from the coach downwards. And that's what I mean in terms of getting stability. It happens worldwide, especially Indian football as well. Just the chopping and changing of coaches. Just an opportunity for a coach to settle, to build a squad, to work with a squad and develop them over time. And you can see the early results, and it's, you know, it's encouraging signs for them.
Juan Pedro Benali is North East United's 12th coach in 10 seasons. Swung in and gathered easily by Prabshik and Gill. They're trying to keep the pressure on and the pace up here. East Bengal trying to play the game at a nice pace. Jordan Elsey, 10 minutes to go to half time. Sol Crespo. Now Mahesh. Sol Crespo. Which left the ball by Falguni, but he was strong in the challenge. Those two coming together again. Nanda Kumar went for the first time ball. Tondomba stuck out a leg and diverts for a corner, but Emami East Bengal starting to press now at the end of this first half.
Yeah, Crespo just able to get a little bit lower, isn't he, to receive the ball and punch them balls through the midfield line, that kind of line of four that North East United have set up defensively when they don't have the ball. And then that just opens up the space, and like we'd love to see so far in the game, just winger against full-back going 1v1 on that occasion. Obviously been really strong enough, Tondomba, to be able to stop the wide cross coming in. And now they've got a corner to defend.
Javier Severio will take the corner. We perhaps have expected him to be on the end of them, but it is taken short to Mahesh. Back to Pardo. Shot was blocked. A lot of players staying forward here. Good save again by Mirshad. Away by Zabako, just managed to recover in time and get that one away now. Manvir on the chase. Waiting for some support. Philippa 2. He's got the overlap from Tondomba. Back to Roman Philippa 2. Falguni. All the way back to Zabako just to receive the pressure. Ashir then to Dinesh. North East will go back to basics and start again from the halfway line. Manvir. Not too many touches. Sol Crespo able to tidy up for Emami East Bengal. Mirshad called into action, not for the first time. Sharp save again.
It was quite an unusual corner, wasn't it? As soon as it was taken short, the centre-back seemed to just sprint towards, back towards their own goal, Emami East Bengal, but enough bodies kept in there to keep the ball alive. And from the second phase, from a team that created, obviously, that opening goal so early in the previous game, I'm surprised it just wasn't in the name to Elsey straight away to try and come up with something with his head or a second ball.
Hammer with a long ball, headed away to Pardo. And Nanda. Mahesh. Just got his body across in front of Philippa 2 before the challenge came in. Pardo out to Nishu Kumar. Mandar. Try so can get the ball across into Severio. Couldn't quite get up high enough to get any momentum on the header, but it's a good ball in.
Yeah, it was just set back, wasn't it, from a wide area. just looking for that Severo again, just to see if he can just peel off his man, just try and get the leap or get him cross in front of him. But encouraging signs, not for the first time, he's just been able to peel off and get a little bit of space. Obviously slippery, difficult to mark in them. Just North East United slightly deeper in that cross come in, just need to try and keep a nice high line, get nice and compact.
Just caught sight a moment or so ago of Dimas Delgado, who's the assistant coach to Carlos Quadra, former Bengaluru player of course, and Quadra during his time at the Blues. North East have the lead though. Silence those red and gold brigade who came into this so full of confidence, of course, after the way that their campaign has gone so far. But North East looking a totally different proposition already, even at this stage of a pre-season cup tournament, but such a prestigious one, of course. They'd love to put their name on the Durand Cup. Nando allowed the ball to bounce and almost gave a sight of it to Party. Well read again by Tondomba. Party down the line again, Tondomba will kick the ball in play. Did that go out off Chungdunga? Not according to the referee, it's a goal kick, but all working well and covering each other at the moment, North East United.
Yeah, and interesting tactics from Don Pedro Benal in the fact that obviously they've gone with that Ibsen as the out-and-out focal number 9, and it looks like Manvia playing mainly just off that right-hand side and Falguni playing in between the lines a little bit. So now really out-and-out recognised number 9 when they get the ball back. There was a spell before Falguni gets the ball, he's looking for number 9. Manvia's wide on that right. The goal's wide on the left, no real outlet, but it's working for them so far.
There's Mahesh, the luck of the bounce, but good solid challenge by Ashir. Mahesh has stayed down injured inside the penalty area. It was a solid challenge on the edge of the box. I think they will put the ball out of play here. Dinesh just going to check on Mahesh, but it looked like a solid challenge.
Real nasty one, wasn't it? It looked late as well. It looked like the ball had already gone, was already hit away from the kind of danger that he was driving through. Mahesh took one right on the top of the boot, just probably below the shin pad as well. The shin pads are sizes of postage stamps nowadays, so that won't be any protection for him. So right on the top of his boot, be a nasty bruise for him.
Let's hope that's nothing too serious. Just got away from Philippa too the first time, and then from Zabako, but it was a clean take by Ashir, although he did catch the player on the follow-through.
Yeah, tried to look not guilty as well, didn't he? Didn't even look back at the man, just looked at where the clearance went. Then they're trying to protest maybe that it was a late challenge, but got the ball and just took obviously Mahesh with the follow-through.
Well, those fans were hoping for a different scoreline as we approach the halfway point. There's still a long way to go in this game, of course. They've enjoyed themselves in the tournament so far. There's as we said earlier, a real air of expectation around the red and gold brigade. North East, though, have the lead, given to them by Michel Zabako earlier in this first half. There he is on the ball. Of course, they lost their top scorer from last season, Jordan Gill, 8 goals in the Hero ISL. He scored 7 times in the Super Cup as well. I was quite surprised actually when they didn't try and keep hold of him, but the only foreigner retained, as we mentioned, was Roman Philippatu. Just signed Yasser Hamed, a Palestinian international who joined them a few days ago. So they have now got their full complement of foreigners for the coming season. It's gone for a North East United throw. Those fans didn't agree with that decision, I don't think. North East, I think, will just be keen to get through to half-time now. If they can have a 1-0 lead going in at the break, then they know that Imami East Bengal are going to have to come out and attack them in the second half.
Very much so. It's more of the same, isn't it, from North East United? You can see they're really good with the pressing high up the pitch to try and affect the build-up play from Army East Bengal. Army East Bengal, they've just got to get that ball either forward quicker or get the ball into midfield as quick as they can, kind of bypass that press from North East United.
Well, that's a really heavy collision between Javier Severio and Bihama. It's free kick's been given to North East United, but Severio wasn't happy with the way that Mohammed Ali Bihama came in and clattered him with that challenge. Fortunately, he's got up. He looked it was a heavy one. No damage done. Four minutes added time at the end of the first half. Severio not giving that one up. He loves to chase down lost causes. It's a high challenge on Bihama.
I think he might just be going over to have a word with the fourth official or the technical area. I think you could hear some discussions going between the two benches about that. It's been going on all half, the kind of physical roughing up of Severio.
Juan Pedro Benali, the North East coach, has gone into the book. Ventukesh is the fourth official. I think Severio's been punished, has he? Here is the incident again, Andy.
No, it didn't look like it's a strong challenge. I mean, his intention is to win the ball, the clear coming together of players. Imami, you can see, plays the ball away and just kind of follows through. His momentum takes him through. Not sure he went into the book on that occasion.
We'll confirm that in a moment. Mirshad will take the goal kick. Well, 3 yellow cards in this first half, plus that one to Juan Pedro Benali. North East leading by that Michel Zabako goal. Haven't had too many clear-cut chances in the first half. Mirshad did make a couple of... There's a North East player gone down, and again it's Falguni that's gone down. A lot of pointing going on. Well, let's hope that the referee can keep control of this one, because it has the makings of a game that could boil over in the second half with what's at... Here's Nesta. Now Falguni, who's covered plenty of ground in the first half, behind the front man Manvir. Nesta's ball in low, hooked away by Sol Crespo.
Just a case of managing the game now, isn't it, for North East United? They're trying to get that early ball in with only really one player arriving late in the box against 5. Just maybe opportunity just to retain possession, keep it, run this clock down, make Army East Bengal work and try and retain possession until they can get into half-time and regroup.
Nishu hauled to the ground. Crowd getting a little agitated as well with some of the challenges and some things that aren't going their way at the moment. Here come North East. Are they going to grab a second before half-time? That's a poor cross though. Credit to the midriff of Krabshuk and Gill.
Handbags, isn't it? Nothing to write home about there. Play on, but it's what should happen. It's the big stage, isn't it, for players? It's a huge opportunity for them to get into a final. There's lots at stake. It's going to be competitive, and like you say, probably half-time going to come at the right time for coaches in terms of regrouping. But the fans, I'm sure, will keep pushing the players on in the second half, and it does have that kind of temperament and that atmosphere that could boil over.
But that, in a way, from a coach's perspective, is good to be playing this tournament pre-season, because you can get that edge ahead of the season. If this was just a pre-season friendly, you probably wouldn't have the intensity that we've seen in the first half.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Tactically, it gives the coaches chances to work with players in meaningful situations. You've seen coaches change shape, change organisation, change personnel, with not making 10 or 10 changes, 12 changes all the time in each game. So I think it's huge opportunity for them in competitive environment, and then you find out your players, you find out when they have to go deep, when it's tough, backing up 3 or 4 days later each game, what your group's made of, and obviously ultimately teams are fighting for the shirt.
Ball touch from Nanda Kumar, couldn't keep that one in play. It was a good ball out to him by Pardo, but Nanda just took his eye off it for a second. It gives Tondamba the throw. We've already played the 4 minutes. Well, there goes the whistle to bring an eventful first half to a close. The Army East Bengal started in positive fashion, but it was North East United that got the only goal of that first half. From their new man at the back, Michel Zabako. Pardo making his first appearance. Falguni provided the ball in. It was a brilliant ball in as well. North East United leading here over Imami East Bengal in the semi-final of the 132nd Durand Cup by a single goal to nil. So here are the stats from that first half. Imami East Bengal, 7 shots, 2 of them on target, just the one hitting the target for North East United, the one that scored from Michel Zabako. Those 3 yellow cards coming, plus the one for the coach in that first half as well. But look at the possession. Imami East Bengal, 66%, Andy, and they'll be disappointed they haven't created more with that.
Yeah, a lot of it's been in their own third, hasn't it? They need to get that ball into midfield quicker, get the ball players on there with Crespo, Pardo and into Mahesh, and then get at the back line more often than they have done in the first half.
Well, the first semi-final of the 132nd Indian Oil Durand Cup, 16-time winners Imami East Bengal taking on North East United, who are up past the group stage for the first time. And it was the Red and Gold Brigade that enjoyed good early possession. There was an early tussle between Sol Crespo and Falguni, which saw the intervention of the assistant referee. Sol Crespo was booked, and the captain Philippa too booked for North East United after something he said. Crespo had a shot which forced Mearshad into a save. Severio was offside from the follow-up. But then the goal, and a brilliant ball in from Falguni and a guided header from Zabako into the corner.
Yeah, he's come alive in this tournament for me. Falguni, I've been really impressed with him. And just good little movement, you know, from a centre half. Not always the best at creating space in the box, but just worked one way, opposite direction, and came across and won the header. And then obviously got himself in the book as well.
Yeah, yellow card for the foul on Severio. So that's the state of play at the halfway point in the semi-final in Kolkata. It's North East United 1 and Imami East Bengal 0.